Taking care of their fellow countrymen, Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers helped Taidong get through the recent rainstorm. Knowing the importance of supporting DaAi TV, a senior in Tainan fundraised to donate to the television station. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. Days of consecutive rain in Taidong, Taiwan resulted in serious flooding and landslides in several areas. In Taimali Township's Sanghe village, the homes of several residents were inundated. On October 11th, Tzu Chi volunteers visited 18 families who have been caught in the disaster and brought consolation cash as well as daily necessities to help them through this difficult time.
Days of consecutive torrential rain in Taidong turned roads into muddy rivers. In Taimali Township's Sanghe village, several residents' homes were also inundated. Some still felt a lingering fear as they recalled the day of the flood.
Yes, and this is what happened. Luckily, the excavator came just in time and blocked the water from coming in. Otherwise, my house would have been flooded.
Following Typhoon Napartak, residents have yet to rebuild their homes. Now, with the most recent spate of rain and flooding, residents of Sanghe village are at a loss of what to do.
It's okay now, but it will eventually collapse. My nephew used to sleep there, but he's too scared to sleep there now since it may collapse.
When Tzu Chi volunteers learned of the residents' situation, they arrived with consolation cash and daily necessities to temporarily relieve the residents' plight. Neighbors also reached out to help one another.
We have such loving neighbors here. They came to help us clear out all the water and even cooked for us. It truly goes to show that there is still so much kindness in this world.
Love is about treating everyone as your own family. If anyone is in need, we shouldn't hesitate to help them.
Although natural disasters cannot be prevented by helping one another, we can all make it through difficult times.
Also about devastations after the windstorm, southern Taiwan bore the brunt of 2 typhoons in mid-September, with Kaohsiung's Shenling district heavily affected. Among the disaster victims are Xiaojun and her family, who live in a building that used to be a pig pen. Their roof was damaged by the strong windstorm, on top of which Kaohsiung has been raining continuously since the Mid-Autumn Festival. To help, 22 Tzu Chi volunteers seized the opportunity to make repairs to their roof, ensuring the family can stay dry before the next big storm hits. Hurrying to complete the repairs before the next strong gust of wind hits the area, Tzu Chi volunteers are at Xiaojun's house in Kaohsiung to fix the roof. Despite the inclement weather, they worked throughout the rainstorm. Volunteers didn't only come to repair the roof, window screen, or weeding. They took care of the environments inside and out of the house. Xiaojun, who is in the 9th grade, lives at this house, which was a former pigsty, with her father and grandfather. But the home couldn't withstand the heavy windstorm of Typhoon Meranti and was severely damaged.
Our roof leaked the last time the typhoon struck. The tarp on the roof blew off. I'm grateful to the Tzu Chi aunts and uncles for their assistance to cover our roof once more, even though it rained in the middle of the repairs.
As Kaohsiung has experienced continuous heavy rainfall since the Mid-Autumn Festival, Tzu Chi volunteers were worried about the safety of Xiaojun and her family. Thus, 22 volunteers seized a break in the rainfall to help make repairs to their home, so at least the family can stay safe against the elements during this time. Help is given by Tzu Chi wherever it is needed. In the Philippines, Tacloban, a fire broke out in a community, affecting 4 families and some boarding students. In the wake of the fire, Tzu Chi volunteers visited to survey the damages and prepare relief goods. When some of the victims saw the volunteers, they felt relieved, as this isn't the first time they have received help from Tzu Chi.
The fire affects 4 families and also a few boarding students who live there. The students had no time to salvage their belongings.
I can't salvage my important documents and other daily necessities.
To help the fire victims, local Tzu Chi volunteers gathered at once. When Typhoon Haiyan ravaged Tacloban, Yang Zhenwei, a Taiwanese businessman, joined Tzu Chi with the relief work. This time, he takes the lead. These past few years, Yang has been leading local volunteers to work together. This time, some of them prepare daily necessities such as clothing, toothpaste, toothbrushes for a distribution. Some volunteers go to the fire scene to survey the conditions.
After Typhoon Haiyan, my family also received emergency cash from Tzu Chi. It's a great help to us. I really appreciate their help. They always come to our aid in time.
When the victims see Tzu Chi volunteers, they started to feel relieved because they know the volunteers will help them through this difficult time. Typhoon Haiyan has brought people of Tacloban more united with each other.
This year marks the 22nd anniversary of the Tzu Chi youth basketball team. Through sports and learning about Tzu Chi values, these children have become more disciplined and established a close relationship with their parents. And to celebrate the basketball team's anniversary this year, 17 teams across Taiwan gathered at the Xindian Jingsi Hall on October 10th for a day of spiritual cultivation.
Emptying their filled bamboo coin banks into a large urn, in this moment, the children's daily habit of saving money to help the needy has become a manifestation of love. Celebrating its 22nd anniversary, the Tzu Chi youth basketball team is hosting a one-day seminar at the newly established Jinshi Hall in Xindian, New Taipei City. 17 basketball teams from across Taiwan put on sutra adaptations for which they have been practicing for 2 months.
To be able to celebrate our anniversary in our new Jingsi Hall is very significant, so we decided to make it a day of spiritual cultivation.
Since joining Tzu Chi youth basketball team, several children have grown closer to their parents.
When we draw a child in, it's like drawing their whole family in. Through basketball, we hope the parents will be able to feel the love of our Tzu Chi family. Besides putting on performances and awarding certificates, the manager of DaAi TV News Department, as well as superintendents of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, were both invited as guest speakers.
By inviting guest speakers to come and address our team members, we hope parents can also see this special occasion as a day to cultivate our spirituality.
After a heartwarming and rewarding day, members are ready to embrace new challenges in the coming year. In the early days of Taiwan's waste incineration, slag wasn't treated and was just directly buried in landfills. Then, for the past 25 years, the government has mandated incinerator slag be reprocessed before it can be used. However, some unscrupulous companies have promised to deal with this material in a safe way, though they simply illegally dump it and reap profits. Many such disposal sites have occurred across the island, and it is so widespread that this issue is something everyone should be concerned about.
Large trucks dump incinerator slag into this fish pond. From above, we see that half of the pond is already covered by slag. Originally, this was a fish pond with clean water, which has now been turned gray with nearly everything inside being killed off. This is Tainan's Annan district, where a slag processing company operates. After it rains, puddles of water are brown and purple. We use instruments to measure the pH of the water, which has a pH value of 12, indicating the water is very alkaline. Ironically, local residents are unaware of this water and soil pollution.
We aren't experts, as we just know that this soil has a certain acidic smell.
When strong winds come, there's a dust problems and there are 4 kinds of heavy metals. In fact, the content is very high, and if you actually think about it, these residents go out and breathe in these heavy metals from slag.
Zinc, copper, lead, and chromium are all heavy metals that can be picked up with the wind. Some 70,000 tons of this toxic waste have been dumped into Tainan's fish farming area. After learning about this issue, the EPA sent a team to examine the incinerator slag dumped into this area.
This heavy metal, if it has crystalline shell in this incinerator slag, there's less of a chance of entering the environment. In theory, it is less harmful.
With slag directly dumped onto the soil, EPA's Soil and Groundwater Fund says we shouldn't be worried, though NGOs have a different opinion.
Here the zinc content is more than 3,000 ppm and copper is more than 1,400 ppm. Whenever it rains, it will flow out and contaminate surrounding water.
While heavy metal dust blows throughout Tainan's Annan district, yet another slag disposal point was found. At my feet is this half-hectare of land covered by incinerator slag. It's hard to imagine such a large illegal dump site can be found next to a major road in Tainan. Prosecutors found that a reprocessing company, YT Group, legally applied to use backfill to fill in a piece of land, but then disposed of 70,000 tons of slag in 3 different private properties in Tainan.
After they made a fake application, they used the slag for backfill. And then the company was so unscrupulous that they even went to the EPA to get money from slag processing.
Similar practices have also been used in other cities and counties. In 2011, this Miaoli mountainous area suddenly saw a large amount of black waste, which was originally regarded as organic fertilizer. 6 large areas were affected, and after 5 years of rain and erosion, finally the truth has been revealed. Normal soil supports dense woods, but when we go to the area where the slag has been dumped, trees cannot grow as only weeds can grow. The hilltop as well as the valley below is all covered in incinerator slag.
We can see there are a lot of glass chips and plastic, as we suddenly realized that the material used to fill in this area was simply incinerator slag. It's mixed with many different things, and when taking a reading, we find copper to be 686 ppm, nickel 331 ppm, chromium 3600 ppm. The red numbers indicate there exist soil safety standards.
Incinerator slag hasn't only found its way into fish ponds and farmland, but also homes.
If this is your home or next to your home, and this area was filled with incinerator slag, there will be quite a smell, and this dust will likely enter your home. So what would you do?
The scope of slag dispersal around Taiwan includes northern areas such as Taoyuan's Dahan Creek and Zhongchuan Retention Basin near Ximen Reservoir, Miaoli's Daoqiao and Holong, Taichung's Jingshui and Longjing, Yulin's Dunnan, and Tainan's Annan and Pingdong's Wandan. While the East Coast has seen less of this pollution, nearly all the western municipalities have not been spared.
We will probably compose an ad hoc group to visit these areas with incinerator slag pollutions like Taoyuan, Kaohsiung, and recently Taichung to do close-up monitoring.
The EPA was originally a source of this incinerator slag and is now becoming just a supervising unit of the slag and commissioning other agencies to take care of the problem. In the end, the EPA doesn't have any responsibility.
The government's waste incineration policy has been around for 25 years, but it has resulted in slag pollution being spread all over Taiwan. Tomorrow we'll take you to further investigate the issue.
The 2016 World Tea Exhibition is being held in Zhongxing New Village, Nantou County. Tzu Chi has been invited to exhibit there for 3 consecutive years. What's special about this year is that during the event, Tzu Chi also demonstrated tea ceremonies and put on short skits for the audience.
The neighbor makes tea to calm nerves. The skit promotes having tea after meal in every family. Tzu Chi volunteers serve tea for guests to enjoy a cup of Jinsi tea.
很香啊，不错啊，有一种很平静的感觉。
The 2016 Nantou World Tea Exhibition is being held in Zhongxing New Village, Nantou County. It's the 3rd year that Tzu Chi has been invited to exhibit there. This year, Tzu Chi continues to share the art of tea ceremonies and ideas about respecting the nature.
With mountains and good water, can we produce good tea? We also hope everyone will know about environmental protection that the master has been promoting.
Jinsu Books and Cafe is also there promoting quality food items it produces. People who love drinking tea should take time to attend the exhibition.
Tzu Chi volunteer Zheng Shuyu from Tainan has recently started a campaign to help support DaAi TV by making vegetarian dishes to raise funds. Doing two good deeds at once, her cuisine not only encourages people to eat vegetarian food, but the profits are contributed to support DaAi TV's wonderful programming, such as this one. Washing and chopping dry tofu in preparation for marinating. After ginger slices are fragrant, dry tofu is added. This is a fundraising dish for DaAi Television.
I want to support DaAi TV as I feel the station needs more funding. Recently, recycling funds have decreased, so I've been worried.
Zheng Shuyu's mission to support DaAi TV was then spread throughout her community, with even images of her vegetarian dish going viral. This fruit shop has become a place where love is gathered.
For group orders, it's easier for them to pick up here.
Each morning, I listen to the master's teachings, and she talks about cloud service, which is expensive. Cloud service is providing information for the world, so everyone can learn from the master's wisdom. If I don't support this cause, I would be disappointed in myself.
Taking to heart Master Zheng Yan's teachings, Zheng has realized the joy of giving. She says even if there was only one order, she would still feel the request to continue to help support DaAi TV. Growing up in a single-parent family, Chen Meizhu wasn't offered many luxuries in life. However, she would find that facing life's difficulties with a positive attitude has really made things easier. Meizhu also began volunteering when she was at junior high, and it was through her volunteering that she found her passion. In university, she even picked social work as her major in hopes of turning her passion into her future. At this university in Taichung's welcoming fair, each student club on campus puts their best foot forward to recruit people. Perusing the different clubs present, freshman Chen Meizhu discovered one organization, the Tzu Chi Collegiate Youth Club, which has a similar value as hers.
嗨，同学你好，我们是紫金社。迎新宿营都在做什么？就是我们会去做志工，帮助。
When I'm helping others, a smile or a word of thanks is enough of a reward for me.
心底的满足。
Meizhu began dedicating herself to volunteer work since junior high, often bringing joy to children of remote areas. Laden with homework in high school, Meizhu still finds time to be a volunteer at the nearby hospital and also spends time with the elderly in senior homes. It was through the time spent with the seniors that she learned the importance of seizing each moment.
Instead of wasting time on complaints, it's best to make good use of our time. In the beginning, I was quite lacking in love as well, but it was through my religious belief that I've learned to cherish my mother.
Raised single-handedly by her mother, Meizhu knows her educational fee is quite a burden on her mother. Thus, she works hard in school and was awarded Tzu Chi Snowshoot Scholarship for her academic excellence.
Although I am a Christian, I'm still grateful to Tzu Chi for giving me a scholarship. I don't feel it's weird or that it is against my religious belief. I am very grateful for it.
Knowing what she wants to do in the future, Meizhu has picked social work as her major in college.
是比如说每周六他们会有什么召集小朋友他们过来，然后。他不是为了课程。
She's not here because of school credit. She's here because she wants to serve people, so she's quite proactive.
By helping others, Meizhu is spreading positivity outward. Like a seed of compassion, she's spreading hope and happiness wherever she goes. Next, we meet Miss Young. When she turned 28, she lost her vision due to diabetes complications. Her father sent her to a home but hardly went to visit, which left her disgruntled. Tzu Chi volunteers did not know how to help her move past her pain until they enlisted another visually impaired volunteer to guide her. Now Miss Young is learning how to give massages and hopes one day she too can be independent.
Miss Yang now gives massages to people at one Tzu Chi event. It makes one volunteer recall how they tried to help her.
She tended to say she was useless, she was blind, so what could she do? Would she remain this way forever?
When Tzu Chi volunteers first visited her, they listened to her complaint about her condition, with volunteers unable to help her. But when volunteer Wang Zhongchi visited her, he used a piece of paper with a hole in it to turn her around.
The paper with a hole means to break through, not to look past it. She said that was it. Then she started laughing.
Wang Zhongchi's humor opened Miss Yang's heart. She said she wants to leave the care home. Brother Wang has been encouraging her and teaching her massage.
He's as caring as my family member, telling me to learn massage skills. Then I can become independent and I can leave here.
Miss Yang has become more grateful for everything, with volunteers now confident that they can lead her to find a better future.
18 years ago, Zhao Luanmei's daughter was in a car accident that forced her into a permanent coma. Since there was no hope of her daughter regaining consciousness, Zhao chose to ease her daughter's suffering as well as the suffering of others. Her daughter became an organ donor who would go on to help save the lives of 5 people, and Zhao herself would continue helping others as a volunteer.
This is the daughter of Zhao Luanmei, who was in a car accident 18 years ago. She was kept alive with life support after entering a permanent coma.
The major damage was to the brainstem. The arms and legs were fine, with no abrasions to the body, and the doctor was very clear that there was no way to bring her back.
At the time of the accident, her daughter was 19 years old. To put her suffering daughter to rest and spread her loving spirit to others in need, her daughter's organs were donated to help save the lives of 5 people. Afterward, to cope with her loss, Zhao Luanmei chose to volunteer.
I kept telling her not to worry about me. I told her, Mama guarantees you that I will be fine.
Like many volunteers, Zhao Luanmei sees her fair share of suffering. But given her own experience, Zhao Luanmei is able to show compassion and love to those she meets.
I want to use this mentality and my experience to others in a similar situation inspiration and show them that don't need to give up.
Miss Zhao says that her daughter's love and spirit are still out there, continuing to help others and spread love around the world. She is thankful every day for the lessons her daughter was able to teach in her life.
In the United States, the Tzu Chi, Texas chapter has for 7 years in a row helped the poor students of Landis Elementary School continue their studies. This year, 28 individuals received free uniform. While there, Tzu Chi volunteers also promoted Jingsi aphorisms as well as teaching the children small ways to do good deeds throughout their day. We will leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.